Hi scholars, Miss Murray here again. It's time to get ready for Wheatley. Are you ready? We're gonna read, baby, read. Say what? Gonna read, baby, read. Say what? The more I read, the more I know. The more I know, the smarter I grow. 'Cause knowledge is power, power is freedom, and I want it. Wow, scholars, you guys are amazing. You have that Wheatley song down pat. Today, we're going to be reading a book called The Legend of the Blue Bonnet. Can't wait to get started with you guys today. The Legend of the Blue Bonnet, an old tale of Texas, retold and illustrated by Tommy Topola. We'll be focusing on recognizing common text types. I can recognize common text types. Step 1, look at the front cover. Step 2, what does the book have inside? Does it have photographs? Does it have headings, charts? Does it have information? Step 3, what does the book tell a story? Does the words look and sound like a poem? Name the type of text. I can recognize common text types. Ms. Murray researched and found some common text types that you may know of. There's nonfiction, legends, informational text, fiction, folktale, and poetry. Today, when we read this book, The Legend of the Blue Bonnet, we are going to determine, is this a story, a poem, or an informational text? I can recognize common text types. Your turn. That's our hashtag for today. The Legend of the Blue Bonnet. I will read and you will listen to pages 14 to 26. The night outside was still except for the distant sound of the night bird with the red wings. Soon, everyone in the teepee was asleep, except she who is alone. Under the ashes of the teepee fire, one stick still glowed. She took it and quietly crept out into the night. She ran to the place on the hill where the great spirits had spoken to the shaman. Stars filled the sky, but there was no moon. "Oh, great spirits," she who is alone said, "here is my warrior doll. It is the only thing I have from my family who died in the famine. It is the most valuable." Then, gathering twigs, she started a fire with the glowing fire stick. The small girl watched as the twigs began to catch and burn. She thought of her grandmother and grandfather, her mother and father, and all the people, their suffering, their hunger, and before she could change her mind, she thrust the doll into the fire. She watched until the flames died down and the ashes had grown cold. Then, scooping up a handful, she who was alone scattered the ashes to the home of the winds, the north and the east, the south and the west, and there she fell asleep until the first light of the morning sun woke her. She looked out over the hill, and stretching out from all sides where the ashes had fallen, the ground was covered with flowers, beautiful flowers, as blue as the feathers in the hair of the doll, as blue as the feathers of the bird who cried, "Jay, Jay, Jay." When the people came out of their teepees, they could scarcely believe their eyes. They gathered on the hill with she who was alone to look at the miraculous sight. There was no doubt about it. The flowers were a sign of forgiveness from the great spirits. And as the people sang and danced their thanks to the great spirits, a warm rain began to fall, and the land began to live again. From that day on, the little girl was known by another name, one who dearly loved her people. And every spring, the great spirits remember the sacrifice of a little girl and fill the hills and valleys of the land now called Texas with the beautiful blue flowers. even to this very day. She who is alone gives up her most valued possession to save her people. This is a story about the beautiful flower of Texas, the bluebonnet. So today we'll practice again with the legend of the bluebonnet so that we can learn to recognize many different types of text, such as informational text, poems, and stories. One type of story is a folk tale. A folk tale is a made-up story that is retold and passed down in a community or culture. A legend is similar to a folk tale, however, it may be partly true. Legends and folktales often explain why certain things exist. What features are in a storybook? Gonna give you some think time. Let's check them out. We have the beginning, the middle, the end, a solution, starting off with that problem, characters, and also different settings. These are features of a storybook, features of a So is this book a story, a poem, or an informational text? How do you know? A, informational text, it gives us real facts. B, story, she who is alone is not a real person. C, poem, it has stanzas. Giving you some think time. If you chose B, a story, you are absolutely correct. She who is alone is not a fictional character. She is not a real person. Great job, scholars. What type of story is this text? What details in the front cover make you think that? A, legend. The title has the word legend in it. The words old and retold show the story has indefinitely been passed down. B, folktale. The story is from a long time ago. Or C, informational text. We learned real facts. Giving you guys some of that think time. It would definitely be a legend. As the council fires died out and the teepee flaps began to close, the small girl returned to the teepee, where she slept to wait. What could we learn from this story about how the Comanche people lived? A, they lived in teepees. B, they lived in tents. C, they lived in houses. I wonder which one. I definitely go with A. They lived in teepees. If I go back to my text evidence, right here in the book, it says, as the council fires died out and the teepees flaps began to close, the small girl returned to the teepee where she slept to wait. That means she's sleeping in the teepee and also living there. Say exit ticket. I want to know how much you learned about the legend of the Bluebonnet. What is one feature of a legend in the legend of the Bluebonnet? A, it tells a story for the first time. B, it takes place in South America. Or C, it explains why a certain flower exists. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it. I'm thinking. I'm figuring it out. Absolutely C. It explains why a certain flower exists. On the last page, it says, she who is alone gives up her most valued possession to save her people. This is a story about the beautiful flower of Texas, the bluebonnet. Scholars, you all did amazing today. I can't wait to see you here next time, same place. See you later, scholars.